Hi,
Hello.
how
Happy
are you?
day. I'm
Happy
actually pretty
Friday.
good today. A little tired. It's been
Well,
a
good thing
week.
it's Friday.
You know, I love Friday. Although tonight's late. I got lots of stuff going on this weekend. I think I'm going to be more tired on Monday, but we'll talk about that on Monday. Mhm.
So I read this article over the course of the week because it takes me a whole week to read an article lately.
Well, there's so much to keep up on with the different publishing.
Yeah, yeah. So Publishers Weekly did, and it's going to talk about middle grade, but I feel like it can talk about kid lit, maybe books in general. But Publishers Weekly did a great article called "Middle Grade is Down but Never Out,"
Hmm.
where they talked about why middle grade is struggling so much right now, and also how it kind of like how we are having to adapt to the market.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just to paint a really grim picture, declining sales, encroaching censorship, unstable school and library funding, dips in children reading scores, and the fact that we're in an attention economy, basically.
Well, now I'm depressed to think.
That's how we started off the whole article. But the reason why I'm bringing it up, because I want to talk about Hook. And I thought that most of this article really kind of didn't beat around the bush, but like painted the whole picture
Yeah.
that everything lately is coming down to the hook.
I don't think that's different. I think that's been my entire career that like if you can't hook a reader in right away, it's really hard to find them. And I think so many people sort of get stuck in the publishing process. Like I can't sell a book without the hook, but you can't sell a book to a reader because you're a new person to a reader. And you know, humans are creatures of habit. So we need to
Yeah,
be convinced to try something new, but especially in a tough economy.
yeah, I think you're right. It has always been what's the hook? We've done a lot of cozy mysteries and the romance is always about a hook. But I feel like it has gotten a little more stricter
Maybe.
because of like the kind of quieter books are really not doing well
No, because
at
how do
all.
you convince a reader in a couple sentences to spend the money that they're already struggling to spend in a tough economy or whatever when it doesn't pop out in them as I think I'll like this right away? Like people just aren't going to sample right now.
Yeah, I think definitely economy, but the second economy of attention, like we are
Yeah.
fighting, especially for kids, right? Like I think once a kid, they're not called iPad kids for no reason. Like once a kid latches onto an iPad or a video game, we do
So hard.
lose their interest in books in general.
Well, TikTok's a killer. It's a killer.
Well,
It's a
and
killer for adults.
right, and that's what I was going to bring up. And that's why I feel like this article was really great and it said a lot about middle grade in specific, but I think it also kind of applies to all of the genres, all of the age groups about how we're all doing that. Like even when you see someone on a TikTok video, my least favorite thing is like when they're holding the book like this.
Oh,
Well, what
God's
is
sake.
it?
Just get to the point.
Right. And I think it's kind of indicative of the fact that if the book is not a splashy cover or, a really great elevator pitch, or you're not telling me exactly what it is right away, we're not getting people's attention.
True.
I was on a
That
call,
is such a good point because I scroll past those videos. I'm like, I don't have time for this. And I think
or I
that
like
resonates across.
I scrolled to the end of the video just to see the cover, and I'm like, I don't give a crap about what you said about the book. Now I need to know what book it was. But I had a conversation with an editor over the summer, and she defined Hook as the thing that sticks in the back of your head that makes you keep wanting to come back to it.
Yeah.
And now that definition has stuck in the back of my head, and it's something that I keep thinking about every time I see a submission or a client book. Like, if I close it, do I want to come back to it?
Hmm. Yeah. I've always thought the hook from a selling aspect is that one thing outside of reading a book that you really love and want to read about. So, like, if your hook has something to do with a dog, or like for me, I'm like a food person. So I tend to any book with a variation of a chef or cooking or baking or anything like that. I'm immediately interested in hearing more. Doesn't mean I'll buy every one of them, but I'm
Yeah.
immediately interested in hearing more. And that's, I think, how hooks resonate with readers a
Yeah.
lot of times. So
Yeah, and I think that we're kind of seeing that. We're getting that pushback from editors across age and genre.
yeah, I mean, what's your hook? How am I going to sell this to my sales team and then to readers in a couple of sentences? And what's the cover going to be? Because the cover is going to be based on the hook. What are those key elements that we can put on covers that sell books?
Yeah,
Things like Adirondack chairs and cats. And these days, a lot of magic in
yeah,
my world. I'm doing a lot of magical
you
books.
are. But I think also a lot of magic and like it's been trendy. Like that
Yeah.
kind of magical genre blending book has
Yeah.
been what people are looking for.
Yeah. And I think that I like what you said at the beginning that it said down but not out.
Yeah, that's the title of it.
Because I think that's really important. We hear, go on.
No, it's just everything is a cycle.
Yeah. And we hear about everything. I mean, I think I've heard that historicals aren't selling literally my entire career.
Yeah.
I mean, horror wasn't so I don't think horror is kind of coming back now. It's definitely not the horror it was 20 years ago, but I don't think horror, how many times can I say that word? I don't think horror has now it feels weird in my head, has sold since like the 90s.
Besides like the staples.
Yeah, but a lot of the staples aren't even writing, they're not hitting bestseller lists. Like, it's not the same as it used to be. But that is, a 20 some year trajectory of
Yeah,
genre.
and also, I mean, the way dystopian has come back, right? Like there was that book
Yes.
that now I can't remember the name of, but it was like nobody knew who the author was. It was a
Yeah.
huge dystopian romance kind of thing. And
Yeah.
I'm seeing more of that trick up in my inbox now. Like,
I'm starting to see steampunk again.
oh, I did get a query the other day for steampunk. Yeah.
Yeah. I used to love steampunk. I don't know if I'm going to jump on too much of it now. And steampunk, when it was big, was like really short-lived. Like a handful of authors were able to do it really well and then had to move on to other things. But I loved the short-lived steampunk phase. I had so much fun with it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was a really great article to read. And I think the connections to be made like outside of middle grade. Maybe we should link it below for everyone to take a look at. But
yeah, and I think as an author, I think again, this is a conversation I feel like we have all the time. You know, you need to really be ready to pivot, to use the super businessy overused term, but you know, at some point, what you're writing, I promise you, is going to see a downturn.
look at the rom-com.
Rom-com, no matter what. And honestly, time just moves on. So if you look at romances that you were reading in the 90s, um, or horror that you were reading in the 90s to what's happening now, it's not the same
No.
at all. So, the authors who stick around, grow with it, whether it's within the genre they're writing, they make shifts and start writing in different ways in that genre or shift genres completely. And I think that if you're a middle grade author, I'm not saying stop writing middle grade, but you really need to think big.
Yes, that's what the article was talking about. Thinking big concept, but also um, word count has gotten shorter because,
Interesting.
yeah, word count is getting shorter because we're, trying to keep kids engaged, and a shorter story, a punchier story might help with that. Obviously, we're playing with format, graphic novel,
Mhm.
illustration, um, things along those lines, things that are very plot driven, less of the kind of lyrical internal character driven stories that
Well,
we
that
often
makes
see.
total sense for
It
that
makes
age.
total sense.
I mean,
Yeah.
you can't take TikTok kids, iPad kids, and hand them a very lyrical. That's tough. They
Yeah.
need they need the action. They need to have to turn those pages. I mean, that's what you.
Yeah. And I think that was kind of what I've been thinking about a lot lately is that we're not only competing with the book market anymore, whereas, maybe 10 years ago, it
Yeah.
was less so. Like
Yeah.
it was about the market. What has been published? What is similar? What are the comps? What is working? What is not working? Here now we have all of that, but we also have like what's going on in the world? What are the kids doing? What do the kids find cool? what device do they use, what game, what social media trend is happening. We're competing against far more than we ever were.
Oh, and these kids are, you know, seeing the same content adults are. Back many, many years ago, kids watched kid TV shows and adults watch adult TV shows. But when they're on social media, like, I had a crowd of middle schoolers in my car, and they were all talking about what was happening in the news that day, which is
Yeah,
not something that normally they would have known.
Emily Forney and I were just talking about this because we were saying how like a lot of kids will read up, right? Like why a lot of YA readers, that's why YA is often 17, 18. A lot of kids read up, but with everybody on the same internet, everybody's on TikTok. If
Yeah,
they're on Book Talk, a lot of teens that I know are not reading a ton of YA. They might be reading the hot romance or romantasy, Sarah J. Maas, like all of those books.
yeah.
A lot of kids read up. So I think that we're kind of seeing like a smash in what readers are especially kid readers are interested in. They're kind of keeping up with the adults and like the 20 somethings on TikTok, the tastemakers on TikTok. So yeah, I thought this
And they're smart. You can't be writing a middle grade book and trying to use their slang. Cap, no cap, skibbity riz. Like they are gonna know you're an adult writing that terrible book and trying to talk to them.
yeah, I don't know, just there's so much to consider, I think, especially when writing for children, but I do think it applies to all books right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think that, anybody writing adult needs to really think big concept too. And
Yeah.
I often say to authors, one great way to do that is to look towards other things. Don't look to your genre for what's a good hook I can find. Look to how you can bring something new into your genre by looking at, if you're writing middle grade and you want a big hook, look what's really working in adult.
Yeah.
Because, you could write, I don't know, you know, a SWAT team book. I don't know if you can, but for middle grade, like look at those big hooks because that's, look at what kids are watching, but not kid shows.
Yeah, I took the summer to kind of connect with all of the picture book editors that I often work with because the market has gotten more challenged and every single conversation it was like having the same conversation over and over again, and that's what everybody said. We're looking for a big hook or a big character that we can build buzz around,
Mm.
and that is what everybody is focusing their publishing programs on.
And what frustrates people about these conversations that we have all the time is that everybody wants to sort of know what the big hook is. And um, what I've come to determine is when people start in publishing, it's not a phrase we ever know until we're given a job and rejected a million times because
And it's such a hard thing to define too.
yeah. And I think I think a really great idea is to read current publisher marketplace deals. Even if you pay $20 just or whatever it is for just a 1 month subscription, ignore the deals from authors that have been previously published. Don't look at their continuing series or whatever because their name is selling the books. But look at those debuts in your genre because how those books are often sold in Publishers Marketplace is really defining of what the hook is because
About the
that's what
book.
we're
Yeah.
narrowing down in when we're writing that pitch.
Yeah.
And the truth is, when we're writing that pitch for Publishers Marketplace, we are hoping to also, besides just, the ego trip we get that, oh, look, we're announcing,
Yeah.
but we are also getting a lot of attention on the books based on that. We are getting interest from film studios, from foreign publishers. We are getting interest from scouts. We are getting more interest from the books. So when we're writing those, we're being very thoughtful about how can we really sell this and get people's attention. And that's what we're focusing on is the hook.
Yeah.
So well, that's what I got for today.
I know. Thanks to that Publishers Weekly article for giving us all
I
this
know. Lots
fodder
to
for a
talk about
discussion.
today.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, then I think we're good, right? I don't have
Yeah.
anything to add. I'm going to go eat a peanut butter cup because I love them. I have gotten so bad. I have like 4 bags of the Justin's mini dark chocolate peanut butter cups.
You gotta
I eat
get
like 4 of
yourself.
them a day.
That's nothing. You gotta get yourself to Trader Joe's, get the big tub.
No, these are really good because you have to unwrap them, so it makes you think a minute before you unwrap
Yeah,
them.
until you take three at a time, you just rip all three, and then
So good
just
though.
me? No.
I, I, I know I try to put one on my desk and think, oh, maybe I won't eat it. And then I've already had
Well,
two.
you've put it
And
on
it's
your
it's
desk.
not even lunchtime and I've already had two.
This, first of all, it is past lunchtime. Second of all, they say you're supposed to put the snacks at least 6 feet away from you, and you're less likely to eat them.
Well, they're 6 feet. I have no
Oh.
problem eating them.
Okay, well, on that note, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you back here next time. This is why we can't work together. because
Bye, everyone.